Hi everyone, I'm Jorisar and this is the battle report for Apex Season 3 Week 3 with the group stages well underway. We start this evening with Afreeca Freecs Blue taking on X6 Gaming and then move into a very anticipated match between Rogue and Kongdoo Panthera. We then have EnVyUs who once again take on Meta Athena, this time in Season 3, and RunAway will be rounding out our evening by pitting themselves against Kongdoo Uncia. Let's see how they got on. Afreeca Freecs started against X6 on Oasis Gardens, which looked to be going AF Blue's way after an initial cap saw 97%. X6 then dug deep and found the fight within them to deny the shutout. Arhan's Genji seemed impossible for his opponents to handle though. When X6 tried to focus on him, the rest of Afreeca punished them severely. Even after X6 fought back in the first round, they were unable to close out and had no semblance of potency left over for the second round, getting shut out on University in one-sided fashion. On Hollywood, AF Blue went with a defensive Orisa Torbjorn composition, while X6 opted for a 2-2-2 dive variant on the other side. Unable to break through, X6 then changed to a triple tank comp, but were unable to catch up to the ult economy that AF Blue had built up, and fell to the Molten Core and wave of support ultimates that came with it. Being full held now on their offensive turn, they were faced with the tough task of doing the same, but Arhan's Genji again proved to be on another level that X6 could not stop. Things looked better for X6 on their offensive Anubis run, taking A quickly and prepping for point B with plenty of time in the bank. They decided to push the left side catacombs to assault but got shut down. In previous matches they've done this before, pushing left, building up 6 ultimates and pushing left again. That was the only strategy they were willing to show today, as they did it time and time again, each time getting shut down by the AF Blue defense. The once massive time bank shrunk and depleted fully, with only a single tick to show for multiple 6 ult offensive pushes. With so little needed from the offense of AF Blue, the Apex Season 3 trend of fast A captures continued. Hoping not to get swept in the series after such a good first showing in the season, X6 fought hard to retain point B, but Afreeca's ult bank usage was much more effective, locking out the respawns from retaking their positions and claiming the third map point and the series. The clash between Rogue and Kongdoo Panthera was next. The teams matched each other evenly in the opening moments of Oasis, refusing to let the other capture the point at University. After both soldiers had used their tactical visors, AKM came out on top by getting a double for his, leading Rogue to an early lead that soon built upon with a double of his own later in the round using his pulse bomb. Despite losing control of the point momentarily, Rogue ended the round victorious and started off City Centre even stronger, countering Kongdoo's pharmacy and building control all the way to 99% before losing the point. Kongdoo fought the odds as Birdring began to find value with the Pharah, getting kills left and right, while Void's D.Va did a great job peeling for supports and applying pressure on Rogue members to take round 2. The decider round on Gardens had Kongdoo's pharmacy having significant impact, claiming the point first and steadily building percentage with an absolutely standout performance from Birdring, who was instrumental for his team in reclaiming and punishing the Rogue backlines to take the Oasis map point. Rogue's offense saw point A on Numbani handily captured with AKM Soldier pairing well with Nico's Genji, not only getting the cart moving, but keeping it going through streets as well. Kongdoo found their footing on the last leg of the map though, stalling when necessary and keeping Rogue from getting all 3 points on the scoreboard before moving to their own offensive turn. Rascal on the Pharah had some early missteps during the point A capture from Kongdoo Panthera, but redeemed himself in streets when a sacrificial barrage found 2 kills and led his team to reach the goal against a resounding Rogue defensive effort. The last leg of the map saw Rogue's stalwart defense contain a single error, and that's all it took. Void's D.Va bomb found 3 Rogue members without cover, and Fisher's Shatter sealed the deal, giving Kongdoo Panthera their second map point. Facing match point, Rogue went on the defensive first on Hanamura. Kongdoo threatened early to claim point A, but Nico's D.Va managed to stave them off the time bank and keep it manageable at just over 5 minutes when the capture finally occurred. Kongdoo swapped over to a triple support attacking composition for point B that left much to be desired. Even though the members of Kongdoo played well within the formation, there just wasn't enough firepower to combat the respawns from Rogue, who held them to just 1 tick on the meter. On their offensive half, Soon's Pulse Bomb, like so many times before, was the resource needed to break open the match, shutting down Waka Waka's Nano Visor and then continuing to rampage on B, getting the double kill that provided Rogue with the perfect opportunity to claim their first map point. With an offensive Widow applying pressure from the backlines on Route 66, Kongdoo Panthera pushed the cart almost uncontested to the first checkpoint, stacking kills in quick succession right as they claimed the checkpoint to start moving through streets. Again, Rogue's defense bloodied Kongdoo, but it was very scattered and with trades that weren't in their favor, so the cart continued to move, reaching the second checkpoint as well. In the final leg, there were no shortage of kills for both sides, but again the trades were uneven in Kongdoo's favor, and after winning back-to-back teamfights, they were able to push home for 3 points with a full team effort, displaying fantastic coordination and ult management. There were a few worrying moments in the second round for Rogue, when Birdring fired off with the Widow, but they regrouped, reapplied pressure, and broke through the first checkpoint to surge forward and take advantage of the respawning defense. Nico led the aggressive push into the Kongdoo backlines, body blocking and gunning down on his D.Va, killing defenseless supports and squishies of Kongdoo Panthera before they could re-establish any sort of defensive effort. With 4 minutes left, they pushed into the final phase and were only meters away before Kongdoo Panthera saved the point from capture. Rogue now had 2 minutes to regroup for their final attempts. Unco on Zenyatta opened up with a double kill and popped the Transcendence to keep Soon healthy as the Tracer, diving into the backlines where he killed 2 himself and team-wiped Kongdoo to force the next round. With just a minute in the bank, Rogue's second offensive turn started well with an early pick from Unco, but once ultimates were built, Kongdoo's defense held strongly and ended the overtime push before the first checkpoint could be reached. On the flip side, Rogue positioned themselves right at the cart to try and give themselves 2 team fights worth of defense, but the forward hold didn't go as planned. Their first hold lasted under a minute, forcing them to regroup haphazardly to contest the cart. Soon and Nico delayed attack attempts with picks, but Nico's backline dive with Dragon Blade got shut down before finding value, giving Kongdoo the man advantage and room to work with while piling onto the cart. This forced Rogue to contest immediately and were unsuccessful, ending the series 3-1 in favor of Kongdoo Panthera. EnVyUs were up next playing against Meta Athena. With early picks and the first capture on University, Meta Athena looked to be starting off Oasis on the front foot. Their momentum continued with Hoon's Graviton catching 3 members of Envy, extending their lead. Despite Effect shortly giving Envy the point with a well-placed Pulse Bomb, a second Graviton from Hoon closed out the round, this time backed up by Libero's D.Va Bomb. Gardens too went the way of Meta early, as Envy's inability to impact the match left them unable to convert in the final teamfight, even when Taimu shut down Libero's barrage. The tanks of Meta finished what Libero started, and map 1 went to Meta. Effect's Tracer began to find value on King's Row offense, helping Envy take positioning on point A early. They got the cart moving, but the defense from Meta Athena stabilized at the second checkpoint, burning a massive amount of Envy's time bank with team wipes from Libero's D.Va Bomb and a flanking Earthshatter from Fisher. Envy got the cart moving again and was stopped just short of the third point, denied the full capture credit. In the second round, Effect's Pulse Bombs found more targets, this time with a double kill in what should have resulted in a 1-team fight. Hoon Zarya turned the momentum around by keeping his team aggressive and in control of point A to unlock the payload. His performance in Streets contained a complete whiff of a Graviton, but his high-energy Zarya not only saw his team through Streets, but also through to the final point, where the cart sat in limbo over extended teamfights just meters from its target distance. Again and again, it was Hoon on Zarya that would provide the opportunities for his team. finishing the map with another Graviton and Libero's D.Va mowing down the remaining defenders. After their resounding defensive effort that fell just short on King's Row, EnVy prepared their 2 CP defense to go first. Chip surprised many coming out as the Sombra and didn't waste any time proving his worth on the attack hero. After scattered skirmishes and kills traded between the two sides, Meta Athena managed to snag A with the help of Libero's barrage and moved to capture B shortly afterwards with another barrage and tactical visor. EnVy was undaunted by Meta's offensive performance and shot out of the gate fast, taking point A in lightning speed with over 7 minutes left in the time bank. A quick conversion saw them on point B with man advantage just moments later in a super aggressive snowball attempt with everyone on the point fragging. The half finished with EnVy having over 6 minutes left in their time bank. In the second round, EnVy was on defense first again, holding off Meta's offensive attacks, utilizing Chip's hack targets and building EMPs fast. Effect 2 chimed in during pivotal teamfight moments with a 2k pulse bomb and some incredible tracking. The team effort resulted in a full hold of a lackluster Meta Athena offensive attempt. On their second offensive turn, and with over 6 minutes to do it, EnVy only needed to capture 33% of point A. They attempted a few pushes building ultimates but were repelled by the Meta defense until they saved and unleashed a full bank of 6 ultimates to take the required control percentage and finally win a map, bringing themselves alive in the series. Odd compositions from Meta Athena kicked off their offensive turn on Dorado, with Saya starting as McCree and then moving to Widow, both of which found scattered kills but no real pushing power. The EnVy defense did well to keep the cart contested and make Meta fight for each meter, giving themselves time to reinforce, regroup and reclaim cart control when necessary, all while the time bank ran lower and lower. Threatening to be full held, Meta charged forward one last time, but Libero could do nothing as Farah, with his Mercy watching from above as his team got earth-shattered and wiped. Effect's increased confidence was evident on EnVy's offensive turn, diving deep into the backlines and finding targets vulnerable to his flanks. Meanwhile, the rest of EnVy were mercilessly pushing the cart and the map ended as quickly as possible as the payload reached the goal with a pile of Meta defenders' bodies around it. With the reverse sweep now within reach, EnVy prepared for defense on Hollywood. Taimu's Roadhog held the high ground, and Harry Hook Soldier in the cafe made for a crossfire death trap that tore through Meta's offensive pushes. With picks going their way and Effect nullifying Changshik's nano-fueled attack, EnVy continued to hold. Meta Athena's Hoon on Zarya had been charging Graviton throughout the duration of the messy attack attempts, and with time dwindling they regrouped and wrapped around the side for their final attack. With the wait for Hoon's Graviton over, everyone prepared to capitalize on the ultimate, only for Mickey to eat it with his defensive matrix, spoiling Meta's plans and leaving them with nothing to show for their offensive half. With their excitement on full display in the booth, EnVy's offensive turn and opportunity to complete the reverse sweep got underway. It was fitting that it was Effect's Tracer, who had been so strong throughout the series, was the one to tear open the point by gunning down the defensive Ana, finishing off Changshik's Reinhardt, then slaying the Lucio in a Tracer performance that made it appear as though he was invisible to the enemy. Uncontested and unaccounted for, he continued to rampage on the point, with finishing blow after finishing blow until the map and match completed, 3-2 in EnVy's favour. The Tracer theme of the day continued as Stitch got RunAway off to the right start against Kongdoo Uncia, helping them capture city centre on Oasis first. Things started to go awry for them when Mirage's barrage had so many targets in his view, but the Transcendence from Dance denied any kills from it. Uncia took control from there as Kongdoo set up their high ground defense with Butcher's Soldier closing out the first submap. Uncia picked up right where they left off to start University, and managed to keep RunAway from finding any control or even value from their ultimates during teamfights, including a nanovisor from Mirage finding no kills even once Cox had debuffed the defenders with a perfect Ana grenade. RunAway were full held as a result, putting Kongdoo Uncia up 1-0. RunAway's offense on King's Row showed better form, capturing A quickly and chasing down respawners and retreating defenders all the way back to the foundry. Stitch was bloodthirsty during the chase down, claiming 3 kills for himself as Tracer. Capitalizing on the momentum, RunAway claimed the second checkpoint as well, and by moving into the final phase unleashed their Dragon Blade on Haksal, only to be matched by Decay's, which had greater impact and team support. The cart was finally stalled as a result, much to the relief of the Uncia roster. They couldn't hold out forever though, and RunAway were able to finish the half with all 3 points on the board. Kongdoo also found offensive success on King's Row, capturing point A relatively quickly and moving into streets. Bumper, now on the defensive Reinhardt, got juggled off the cart and bullied by Panka's primal raging Winston, leaving the rest of RunAway without a shield to hide behind to avoid Butcher's D.Va self-destruct, losing 2 members to the ultimate. Kongdoo Uncia reached the second checkpoint with over 3 minutes left and ended up needing all of them when their ultimate assaults were shut down by a resilient RunAway defense until overtime, when Uncia were able to rush the cart and chain enough kills to tie the score. In the second round, RunAway had a minute and a half left in their bank and had to force Kongdoo to full hold A if they wanted to draw the map. It was a chaotic teamfight, with what might have been more of a panic ultimate than planned by Mirage, but it worked out in the end for RunAway, with Stitch in the backlines forcing Uncia to fight on multiple fronts unsuccessfully. RunAway's defense was better suited to Volskaya, as Cox's Sombra took advantage of the fast charge rate of EMP and unleashed it again and again to defuse massive offensive pushes from Kongdoo, leaving them without a plan deep in enemy territory. Uncia were barely able to capture A in overtime and had no better luck on B, losing the bulk of their time bank to capture again in overtime by the skin of their teeth. RunAway's offensive turn went much better than their opponents, quickly taking A after Runner found a double kill using Lucio's boop to send 2 defenders to the depths of the map. A quick conversion onto B turned into a war of attrition as Mirage started the brawl with attack visor and ended it a minute later with more Soldier 76 fragging. With over 3 minutes remaining in the bank for their round 2 offense, they easily claimed the 33% on point A to take Volskaya and go 2-1 up in the series. Damon's Widow did little to help the offensive push for Kongdoo Uncia in the first checkpoint of Route 66, relying more on Decay's Genji to cut through the defenders. While not flashy, he did manage to land a mercy-boosted killshot onto Haksal's Winston during the second phase, triggering the rest of Uncia to surge forward, including Decay, who once again had a Dragon Blade and found a triple. Slowly, the cart moved towards the final point, no longer with RunAway contesting every meter. Damon, now on McCree, was able to perform much better working closely with the rest of the Uncia roster, and was there when they needed him in the final push with a quick Deadeye kill and a follow-up to boot. With the third point captured in overtime, RunAway now prepared to try and match them. Uncia put on a clinic defending the first leg of Route 66, limiting the effectiveness of RunAway's ultimates and utilizing their own to perfection. Even when down and out, the support play from Dance and Bubbly got them right back into it. Bubbly landed a big res mere meters away from the first checkpoint, delaying the capture even further and forcing RunAway into a must-push in overtime situation for the next phase. The supports weren't the only ones making the plays for the Kongdoo defense though. Decay on the Tracer stopped RunAway dead in their tracks shortly afterwards when they finally got moving with a stellar double pulse bomb kill. Another big res from Bubbly wore down the clock to overtime and provided Kongdoo with one final team fight to hold the checkpoint, successfully ending the map and tying the series 2-2. RunAway's offense had no issues with Uncia's Torb defense on Numbani point A. Mirage's Farah was uncontested in the air, finding a double kill to finish off the defense and move into Streets phase blazingly fast. Haksal's Winston also played a massive role in the brutal offensive half of RunAway, creating constant space for his DPS to work in, including the final push where his Primal Rage and Mirage's Tactical Visor decimated the ragged Uncia defense. RunAway too went with a Tourbillon defense, not deterred by the failure of their opponent's previous composition. The entire cast of RunAway put up a top-tier defensive round to hold point A. Cox's Ana self-peeled by putting Damon's Tracer to sleep, allowing the rest of his team to dive onto the Uncia attackers. Stitch's Tracer found several multi-kills, and Mirage on the high ground soldier held his own, using his tactical visor to mow down the low ground while also being able to deal with a 1v1 against Panka's Winston, who tried to focus him down. The team combined for a full hold, denying Uncia any further opportunities and claiming their third map. RunAway finished the series by cementing their first win of Season 3. So that concludes Week 3 with some very exciting matches that sets us up nicely for the second half of the group stages. If you've liked the video, don't forget to subscribe by clicking here, and to watch the next video, click here. Thank you for your likes and comments in the meantime, and don't forget to share. I'll see you next week.